You know what? We're gonna get straight to the music and just blow through this thing because we have a lot of content today. So let's get the ball rolling. Welcome, one and all, to another edition of Everyone Hates Us, the podcast dedicated to the art of winning and the beautiful sport of baseball. I'm your host, Euno Lee, joined by my gracious co-hosts, Collin Murphy, Daniel Grievitz, and we're missing some audience members today because Dan's got his phone on lockdown. He can't post it to Instagram. And, you know, I'm using my phone to film right now, so I can't check my phone either.
I did send the link out on a couple of group chats just now. So
okay, I guess
we will get some people.
Scream into the void here. Speaking of screaming into the void, the NBA Finals wrapped up, and if a Halliburton falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear it, doesn't really make a sound. The Oklahoma City Thunder win the 2025 NBA Finals over the Indianapolis Pacers, who lost, or Indiana Pacers. I guess they can count for the whole state.
The whole state.
And good God, Tyrese Halliburton went down with what looks like a ruptured Achilles tendon.
I think they confirmed it as of today.
Yeah.
Okay, they confirmed it. That's rough. That's usually a more than a year timetable just to kind of come back from that. As someone who has ruptured his Achilles tendon before, I can tell you, the face that he's making is the face you're supposed to make. Like, that is an excruciatingly painful thing to go through live. And yeah, not great. Which really, I'll give you guys a Kobe moment real quick. That's the moment I was like, I got some respect for Kobe. That guy, for him to get up after he ruptured his Achilles tendon and then go shoot some free throws was like some serial killer stuff. I was like, this is not, that's not what a normal human being is gonna do, Kobe. Like, you want to just come out, and you wanted the points. So.
Well, I think also on that is if you don't take your free throws, you're not allowed to come back in the game. So
how the hell are you gonna come back in the game? You just ruptured your Achilles, bro.
If you don't know for sure that you have it, like, you would want to shoot because they're dead ball anyway, just to give yourself a chance to get taped up, see what happens.
Oh yeah.
Well, no,
put some dirt on it, Kobe. Like,
when I played in college, like, I went up for a rebound and my knee gave out on something, and then when I was on the trainer test or whatever, they originally told me I tore my ACL. Because I failed the ACL test. We found out later that my ACLs are basically like worn out rubber bands, and that I actually failed the field tests and nothing was wrong. But if I was in a shooting foul situation, like, I absolutely could go back in. Like, there was no real risk. I taped up the knee. I could have gone. So I think as an athlete, you kind of think in that sense more, yeah, it probably is. But just in case there's any way back on this, like, I want to give myself that option. And so I think, specifically for Kobe in that sense, I think it was less about the points. It was more, I can get back in the game if I shoot these free throws. It's a dead ball. It's just pain management at that point. And then let's just go check it out and see.
It's just pain management. It is the most, I suffer from gout, and the Achilles is worse. Like, I've been told that gout is probably the worst pain that the average human being will feel in their lifetime. Unless you're a woman and you go through pregnancy. But for most males, that would be the worst pain that you feel in your lifetime, provided everything is normal. The Achilles is worse by like 1.5 times, probably, just based on the amount of the dosage of medication I needed to take in order to be able to sleep. So that is, holy hell. Yeah.
How hoity-toity of you, suffering with the King's disease.
Hey, man. Yeah, but enough about our ailments. Collin, I have the better question. Did you make the free throws?
No, I wasn't shooting foul.
Oh, it wasn't shooting foul. Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, if I was in that situation, like, obviously it was just D3 basketball, I would have tried to shoot because I could get up. It was just, I was more worried about my leg stability going forward. It's like, would I be able to cut like right afterwards and stuff? So there was no immediate threat to me, like, kind of collapsing. It was just pain management. I would have probably tried to talk them into letting me shoot the free throws and then just come out and then see what happened.
See if you can come back in. Okay.
Yeah. just wasn't a shooting foul. I was more just thinking from the perspective of Kobe. I don't think it was necessarily about, he just wanted to make sure he could get back in the game. I mean,
Murph, we all know what it's really about. Kobe will be goddamned if he leaves 2 points on the table like that. Are you kidding me?
So yeah, I mean, Kobe's a hooper, and so obviously I respect him for that. It's just I think that was what he was more going through, is I want to make sure I can come back to this game if there's a way back for me. And because you never really know when it first goes down. There's so many times you go down, you think things are really bad, you get some more tape on it, you kind of maybe you take something, and things become a little bit more manageable.
I think it was Jermaine O'Neal, but there was some memory from like way in my backlog of a guy getting hurt and like shooting it, like having to shoot it one-handed because his other arm was so messed up, and he like came out of the game after that. But just in case, if you can shoot, might as well, so that you can have the option.
Also, it's not even selfish because they get to pick your shooter from the bench. The other team does. So, I mean, they're picking.
Oh, the other team. That's dirty, man. It's like, hey, I know you just probably lost this game, but we're going to pick your absolute worst free throw shooter. You can take these shots if you don't, walk over here on your torn Achilles.
It's really to incentivize teams to, like, if you get caught with DeAndre Jordan at the ball late in games, he doesn't pretend he broke his ankle, and then you can go sub in, Brent Barry to go shoot the free throws for him or whatever.
That's what is this, like the Clippers all-time team that you're naming here? Like, that's a very random set of teammates.
I was trying to think of who's an elite free throw shooter that could realistically be on the bench at the end of a game, I guess.
That's pretty good. Nailed it. You could also make a free dunk. That guy had a 40-inch vertical.
But yeah, it's just to incentivize that there's no incentive to fake an injury at the end of the game, because that'd be the best time to do it. I magically recovered for tomorrow. Kind of like what the Dodgers do with their guys when they send them on Phantom IL stints.
All right, moving on. So, we're in the offseason for the NBA, and that means that some news is popping up. We've had some trades happen. And we lost. The Boston Celtics are apparently in the throes of a full-on fire sale. They have traded away Drew Holiday. They have just traded, like as of 10 minutes ago, traded Kristaps Porzingis away in a 3-way trade that will bring them Georges Niang and a second-round pick. Guys, contention. Okay, no, it's over. The torn Achilles has been the injury du jour. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. What's going on, fellas? This is kind of crazy, right? Like, it's. I mean,
in the same playoffs, the NBA's Achilles. In the same playoffs, we had Tatum and Damian Lillard and Halliburton. It's a mini epidemic of torn Achilles, which sucks because, like we said, it's a long recovery.
I'll just say, I know you're the humanities major, but the player, the person it's referencing is Achilles, the warrior, and that has an S in it, so the apostrophe be after the S. It's not Achilles, like heel.
Achilles.
Yeah.
It disappeared, so we don't even know what you're talking about. Underrating the humanities major.
Well, I mean, my school doesn't even have humanities, and I knew that one.
That's true. Wait, you have an English major at Caltech?
You can't declare it.
You can't declare it. You have to end up in it.
Yeah, you can fail backwards into it, but you can't.
Yeah. You have to end up in it. That's some bit of school snobbery nobody needed, Colin. We're gonna switch gears to MLB. Obviously, Achilles tears suck. Get well soon to Tatum, Damian Lillard, Tyrese Halliburton. That stinks. And
it also kind of ruined what was setting up to be a fun game 7. Halliburton came out hot, and then all of a sudden that happens. Pacers were already pretty big dogs, and they lost their guy in the first quarter. So
yeah, he was making long. He was playing really well. Like we talked before about how up and down he is. Like, he disappears in some games, but he's definitely wasn't looking like he was front and center in this game, and that's what they needed to be competitive. And it's kind of a bummer because it was a really fun series the whole way through, and then it sort of just deflated there because Yeah, TJ McConnell, as fun as he is, can't be the number one scoring
Hey,
option.
hey, TJ, can you win us a Game 7 in the NBA Finals, please?
That's the real problem, though, too. Is like even when they had that lead, like it just really felt like after Halliburton went down that the Thunder were inevitable. The Pacers, were really going to need the flukiest of all fluky 3-point shooting days to really come out of it. And what was it? I know you guys mentioned McConnell, but I'm pretty sure he's the only Pacer that scored the final 8.5, 9 minutes of that game. I know he had like 12 points, but I mean, Nemhard, Siakam, Naismith, like all those guys just couldn't get anything going down the stretch, which I mean, nothing against them. The Halliburton's supposed to be taking like a lot of the pressure off of them to an extent, and missing a guy like that hurts.
Yeah, we talked about how this team, because last week when we were talking, we didn't know if Halliburton was going to play even in Game 6, and we talked about how this team, like doesn't necessarily need him to have a big game to succeed, but it is helpful to have him on the court in the torture chamber so that no one else has to be guarded by Lou Dort. And this game, we saw what happens when Pascal Siakam has Lou Dort following him around, and it just sort of become a non-factor.
It's over, basically. Yeah. It's over. Well, get well soon, Indiana Pacers. Get well soon, Reggie Miller. We got to switch gears, guys, because there's a lot of MLB news coming down the pipe. We're going to kick it off with some sad news. Whit Merrifield, I guess not sad, but Whit Merrifield announced his retirement. One of my favorite Kansas City Royals, perennially underrated guy, and was like, that was kind of how he was defined. I feel like in his first like 3-4 years in the league, it's like, this guy, Whit Merrifield, he can really play. But nobody really paying attention to him because A, Kansas City sucks, and B, like his name's Whit Merrifield.
Yeah, he sounds like he should be on 1950s Phillies roster or something. Like,
give this man a basketball shoe. Give this man a Nike signature shoe. But congratulations on a great career, Whit Merrifield, and wish you the best in retirement. We've got it.
He's not gonna make the Hall of Fame. Like voting. No, he won't even make the ballot though, because I think you need 10 years. I think
he didn't get to 10 years.
He's 1 year short.
Yeah, which is a bummer.
The year after they won the World Series, so just
missed the cut.
Just missed the cut, and no pension either because you need 10 years service time for that as well. So kind of a bummer, but he had his time and he was pretty damn legit. Led the league in hitting led majors in hitting. Total hits and stolen bases, and finished, I believe, 17th in MVP voting, which is weird. But anyway, moving on from Whit Merrifield, we're going to do a quick All-Star ballot update, which is probably going to segue into our next segments. But we have an All-Star ballot update, boys. AL in first place for first base, we've got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. What is wrong with people, dude? We have Vladdy Jr. at number 1, 1.19. Paul Goldschmidt, number 2, 1.11. And then we've got Jonathan Ronda, the rightful owner of the number 1 spot, in my opinion, and we'll get to that, of the Rays at 879,000. So he's almost 200 and change off. Rounding it out, Spencer Torkelson, Christian Walker, Vinny Pasquantino. What the hell is Christian Walker doing here?
He has a negative ERA.
He has a negative
WAR. Yeah.
I was gonna say, did he pitch? Like,
what is he, Ohtani now? Like, what is this? Okay, second baseman Gleyber Torres leads the way. I think that's kind of a no-brainer. Murph will elaborate on that in his segment. But Jackson Holiday is in second with 800,000. Gleyber has 1.1. I'm sorry, 1.13 million. And Jose Altuve on Holiday's heels at 795. Shortstops, we've got, oh my God, Jacob Wilson of the A's at 1.12.
Yes, sir.
Wilson's having himself a year.
Yeah, not defensively. He's horrible.
That's what we want in the All-Star game.
Yeah, just guy who, and it's not even he's like a huge slugger either. He's like a elite contact hitter. Like, oh God. Speaking of sluggers, Bobby Witt Jr. of the Royals behind at 868. So we have Jacob Wilson at 1.12, and then Bobby Witt Jr. at 868. And then freaking Jeremy Pena, oh God, I need a cigarette. 608,000. Okay, so that's third place. Third baseman, Jose Ramirez, no brainer, 1.7. Alex Bregman bringing up second place, 654. He's more than 1 million votes behind Jose Ramirez. That's not happening. Third place, quick shout out for our man Zach McKinstry of the Tigers, former Dodger, 502,000 votes. Isaac Paredes in fifth place at 364. Good God. And Junior Caminero, there's a name. Bringing it up at 297, but not at number 6. Designated hitters. Ryan O'Hearn of the Orioles, 937,000. He widens his lead over Ben Rice of the Yankees at 409,000. And then Brent Rooker of the A's, 396,000. Catchers, it's Cal Raleigh. Moving on. Outfielders, we've got Aaron Judge, 2.7 million. Leads all of baseball in All-Star votes. And then Riley Green at 1.37. Javi Baez of the Tigers, 901,000. Congratulations, Javi. Welcome to the All-Star game, hopefully, potentially. Mike Trout of the Angels fell behind, 889. And then Stephen Kwan brings it up at 5th at 810. Cody Bellinger, other notable names, Bellinger of the Yankees at 712. Kerry Carpenter at 664, and then J-Rod of the Mariners in ninth. J-Rod of the Mariners in 9th place at 582. And then interesting, Byron Buxton here with 505. Big Bucks might be poised for a second half push here. The guy's been balling when healthy.
Yeah, I mean, classic Buxton.
Big prepositional or big qualifier there. Sorry. National League. Let's do this real quick. Freddie Freeman leads the way, 2.095 million. And then Pete Alonso in second place at 1.5. So Mets Nation, your mans, come get your mans. Second baseman, Ketel Marte of the D-backs at 1.5. Nobody really else. Moving on. Shortstops. Am I wrong here? Nobody gives a shit besides Ketel Marte. Like, it's like, who cares? It's not close. It doesn't make sense. Like, well, I'm a very pro Ketel guy.
I thought you were avoiding it because Edmund's second and he shouldn't be.
Oh no, my Korean brother Tommy Edmund is in second place with more than 1 million votes, just a hair over 1 million. I don't think he should catch Ketel. I don't think we should be talking about anybody else besides maybe Bryce Turang. But like Bryce has been very lucky, and he's there in 9th place because nobody loves defense like All-Star voters. He's at 122,000. He's not going to catch Ketel. Ketel's gotten covered by more than 10x. It's Ketel. I don't think it's particularly close. Shortstops. This is spicy. Interesting.
I know shortstop that's a deep position.
It's very interesting. Yeah. Damn. Frankie Lindor leading the way. Mr. $1 Million Smile himself has 1.6 million All-Star votes. Mookie Betts in second place with 1.2 million. Ellie De La Cruz of the Reds at third at 689,000. This is Trey Turner's. This is really deep. You're right. Trey Turner at 661. Dansby Swanson at 563. Geraldo Perdomo of the D-backs at 190. So that's where it starts to fall off a little bit. Nick Allen, probably the best defensive shortstop on this list at 135. And then CJ Abrams of the Nats at 131. What the? Yo! He's one of the best shortstops in the league.
Yeah.
What the hell?
That's rough.
Bro, how do you have... You're not 1/10 as good as Mookie Betts, bro. Like, come on. You're definitely better than that. All right. Xander Bogaerts in 9th. Mason Wynn is where it really finally drops off at 126. Third baseman, it's Manny Machado, 1.68. We're not even reading the rest of these. Gino Suarez at 538. Get well soon. Hopefully he comes back soon. Took a nasty pitch yesterday. Designated hitters, Shohei Ohtani at 2.5. Moving on. Catchers, Will Smith at 2 million. Also moving on. Outfielders, here we go. PCA, number 1 at 2 million. Teoscar Hernandez at 1.36. Kyle Tucker at 1.21. Ronald Acuna Jr. at 1.14. Juan Soto at $1,048,000. Corbin Carroll at $1,019,000. And Andy Paez of the Dodgers, $962,000. He's right there too. Then there's a pretty big drop off of 200,000 votes down to Fernando Tatis Jr., James Wood, which makes no goddamn sense. Brandon Nimmo, why are you here? Nick Castellanos, also, why are you here? Ian Happ, okay. Tyrone Taylor, Jackson Merrill, okay. Michael Conforto at 15. Ooh, baby.
Yeah.
We need to stop the all Dodger balloting right now. Oh my God, number 15. And no other notable names. I guess LGJ over an 18. Elliot Ramos at 243, 19th. Yeah, who cares? Anyway, that was an exhaustive rundown of the balloting, but I really want to emphasize that this is fan voting. All right. And it's actually like an interesting, if I was teaching like a business class on surveying, like this would be a good example of like, what's the data available to you? And then what's the data presented on the survey? And on the survey, you see batting average, OPS, total home runs, and I believe stolen bases, maybe hits, stolen bases. I don't know.
I can't remember. It's been a bit.
And they definitely show RBIs, which makes no goddamn sense to me. But okay, show them RBIs. Anyway, that's what's on the ballot. And so very interesting, the position player breakdown here. I want to know, Murph, you crunch the numbers. I want you to identify the biggest injustices so far.
I mean, easy. Teoscar Hernandez at number 2 isn't just an absolute joke. NL outfield is deep. This is, James Wood's not going to even be in the final ballot because it's only going to be the top 6. And he absolutely should be in.
That's a goddamn shame. Like he is.
If you do the FWAR ballot, it would be PCA, Corbin Carroll, and James Wood. That's the NL outfield. And that's, number 1, number 6, and number 9 on the voting. If you even drop it down to everyone else, Tatis should be number 4, and he's off the ballot right now at 7. Tucker is, he's number 3, and he's 8th. So at least that's not bad. Paez actually is pretty much right where he's supposed to be. 6th in outfield WAR, 7th on the ballot. Teoscar Hernandez, though, is like the huge outlier here. And I think it's good that the votes reset before we go into the final group, because hopefully, as long as they get the final 6, as long as they get the top 3 right, I think the right people can get rewarded here. But Teoscar Hernandez is definitely like a bid thief in waiting here between a very talented field that really there's no reason to put someone like that ridiculous up.
Where else are these?
Fangraphs just classically doesn't weigh Vibes Plus, adjusted Vibes Plus, and Teoscar's off the chart.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think the other big one that I kind of see on here, they're pretty much all Dodgers, weirdly enough. Mookie shouldn't be the shortstop. Shortstop is so deep, and he's at best the 5th best shortstop in the NL this year, probably 6th if you go by WAR. Lindor and Turner are 1 and 2 any way you slice it. Ellie De La Cruz is above him. Abrams is also above Mookie. So it really comes down to Mookie versus Perdomo, and they're like pretty statistically close to each other as far as WAR goes. But the fact is that he really shouldn't be considered. It should be Turner, Lindor, and if you're grabbing a 3rd, it's Ellie.
I'm sorry, Collin. Do any of those people you mentioned that aren't Mookie have a podcast? That everybody watches, helps to grow the game.
Everyone has
a very important player. You know what? Mookie is a part-time shortstop. He just started playing last year. He's better than Derek Jeter ever was at the position, like straight up.
Yeah, that's also irrelevant to All-Star voting.
Better than Derek Jeter, and Derek Jeter made a lot of All-Star games, Collin.
I don't think it's as egregious, but Freddie Freeman also is a clear-cut number 3 first baseman. It should be Olsen and Alonso, really. So I don't know. Probably seems like Matt Olson probably is the one that gets screwed here. But I think that's from the NL side. Those would be kind of the big ones I would bring up. as far as where you could run into some problems. And the AL, you mentioned it, the first baseman thing, Aranda, they at least can correct that. And if Vladdy goes in, it's not really that big of a deal. Like,
Is it
Vladdy's
though? He
they
got
always
his
like-
money.
Yeah, but he's a top 2 short first baseman by like most metrics anyway. So him getting an undeserved start over Aranda isn't really the biggest injustice in the world. Him being on the team is fine. I do think what's it called, in defense of my guy Goldie here, is he was looking a lot better when the voting started. He has been in an absolute like rut as we've kind of gone on, and his stats have plummeted. But when it started, he was also on my fantasy team, so I'm very acutely aware of this little slump he's in right now. Yeah, I mean, shortstop is deep in the AL as well. Like Fangraphs, they like Pena and Bobby Witt is the top 2 guys. Pena is the number 1. But I mean, Wilson still, when I kind of was building out like my little Fangraphs ballot, Wilson still found his way on there as, one of the final 2 utility guys. So that's not crazy. The big one's Buxton, who is the number 2 AL outfielder by WAR, who looks like he's going to miss the final cutoff. Julio Rodriguez, similarly, is number 3 and looks like he's going to miss the vote cutoff too. So the AL outfield is just a complete mess. Outside, once you get past Judge, I think that's the weird part, is because they're only going to pull the next 4, because the top vote getters don't have to do the second round of voting. So Ohtani and Judge are going to skip out, and they're going to be automatically selected. So that means, yeah, the fan vote is actually going to screw with that quite a bit, because we're going to be staring down probably Green, Baez, Mike Trout, who absolutely not, and Stephen Kwan. Like, unless you do Green and Kwan, you're probably picking someone that's undeserving. Probably someone's going to get bumped for an inferior player, which, I mean, sucks, but that's fan voting for you.
Yeah. At the same time, though, like, yes, I understand that All-Star, like All-Star game berths are used for contract negotiations, and they have real world effects, and I understand that whoever accumulated the most WAR in the first half of the season makes sense. But on the other hand, it's the All-Star game. Like, I would rather watch Mike Trout out there, even if he hasn't played that many games, because he's an established star. Same with on the NL side. We didn't mention him but Acuna Jr.'s like high up in the outfield voting, even though he just started playing like 2-3 weeks ago. And yeah, there's no way for him to accumulate the WAR to get there, but he's also been playing insanely well. This is one of the stars of the league who happens to have been hurt. But if you're picking a team of the like 9 best players, objectively, Ronald Acuna Jr. should be in there. Depends on what you're looking for. Like, I would, yeah, if I'm building if I want to watch an All-Star game and I want to see, I want to see the best players out there, and I would assume a guy like Acuna is among those, even though he can't have how much WAR does he have so far?
He's actually been elite when he's played.
Exactly. He's been, that's what I'm saying. He's been great, but he's only had 100 at bats.
Wouldn't they also?
He's at. Sorry. Go. My bad.
Go. Sorry. Go ahead, Murph. Sorry.
I was gonna say, like, I mean, my issue is more with Trout, who hasn't really played and hasn't really been that great when he has. Acuna, in his like limited time, like he's put up 2.2 like BWAR. Like, he actually is like in the running, and that's why I didn't necessarily bring him up as like kind of a problem as far as the vote goes, just because he has been elite when he's been on the field. And if you want to make a case on like, I don't know, WAR per game or something, like, I definitely would rather have people who are better, that like maybe they had a fluke injury and they were out for 2 weeks, versus someone who is like a lesser player but played like the entire first half of the season. Yeah, as you said, the All-Star game, I want to see the best players. Like, a guy rolling his ankle shouldn't like disqualify you from making the an All-Star team. My issue is more with guys like Trout, who like, he's a big name, but he's nowhere near All-Star level this year. Any way you slice it. Acuna, I'm fine with. Teoscar Hernandez, no, because he's been objectively not good.
You got to give the people what they want, Colin. Come on.
So I guess I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you on Acuna. I disagree on Trout and like some of the other guys, where if they're not playing at that level, even with the missed games, I just don't see really the argument for them.
But like,
we're just saying it's a big name.
Jan, don't you think this kind of gets smoothed over when they kind of announce the reserves too? Like everybody else who gets to be on the team, it gets real Pro Bowl-y down the line, doesn't it? Like,
Well, with the rule that you have to have at least one player from every team, there is usually some undeserving guys making it just because, or at least some really deserving guys not making it because you sort of have to pick a guy from the Rockies and a guy from the White Sox and stuff like that.
which leads to our next segment, guys. Who is it gonna be? You have to pick one player from the White Sox and one player from the Rockies. One of these trash ass teams is gonna, both of these trash ass teams have to send one player to the All Star game. Who is it? Like Murph.
I mean, the Rockies is easy. It's Jake Bird, and he deserves it
because he's actually been good. Yeah.
Yeah. As far as relievers go, he actually is the #1 relief pitcher by WAR in the NL. So, I mean, obviously Coors is doing a lot of heavy lifting for his park adjustment numbers on that. But yeah, I mean, I think he is actually one of the few exceptions because I think he's absolutely. There are 3 people, if you were doing a pure WAR team, 3 teams, sorry, that don't deserve one. You are right. White Sox are 1. The other 2 are the Orioles and the Marlins. Those are the 3 teams that are bad, but I just wanted to defend the Rockies here. I know we've clowned on them a lot, but Jake Bird is going to make the All-Star game, and that's going to be a deserving selection.
All right. And Dan, from the White Sox, if you had to pick one guy, hold your nose. Tell me who.
I pulled up the 2025 Chicago White Sox guys here, and yeah, there's not a lot to pick from. I know that Collin had Hauser in there and one of the rosters that he did, and he is the highest WAR pitcher. We also got Miguel Vargas, who somehow is a 1.8 WAR. Like he's been actually decent for this very indecent team. Yeah, I guess Vargas just because of the Dodger connection, but
I think Vargas because of the positional utility, like the positional versatility, because he's capable of playing first, outfield, and third. And so that's where you can kind of squeeze somebody in and be like, oh, he's our super utility guy. And let's throw out the guy who can't defend a lick at shortstop despite his crazy batting numbers, Jacob Wilson, out of here.
I will say, like, originally I had Shane Smith there, and then after the Diamondbacks tattooed him last night, that's just not really justifiable anymore.
You're one of the best offenses in the league.
Yeah, but I mean, it plummeted his numbers. So it's. I think if you're picking a pitcher, you're picking Hauser. I do think they pick Hauser just because, as someone who's on like that awful Diamondbacks team, watch them through, and they put like our trash loogie guy in Mantiply. They normally stick your whoever's best reliever in and just take off a pitcher. Rather, they don't seem to like to give the one off to position players if they can avoid it. They did it with Ellie De La Cruz, but I would argue that was more of Ellie's a really hot prospect that people want to see, unless we want to get the Reds, the pity play there.
That one was baffling. That and the All Star and the MLB The Show cover, just baffling to me.
Jazz.
No,
Jazz?
Ellie was part of a 3-player cover this year, I think, with Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens, I get. Oh god.
I'm sorry, but Ellie being on the cover makes compare after Jazz Chisholm, like someone like Ellie being on the cover makes perfect sense. He's an actual star, like
yeah.
He's an electrifying player.
The JCJ cover made absolutely no sense. I was like, you got who? That was rough. Anyway, speaking of Jazz Chisholm Jr., you'll be surprised to learn that he's part of our next segment. We're talking about the MLB divisional super infields. And so MLB Network, I believe on X or Instagram or one of the social media platforms, was put out a graphic. And actually, let me share it with you guys. But actually, no. I'll just kind of read it out since we're a podcast. Basically, they said, if every division had to field a first baseman, second baseman, third baseman, and shortstop, and they couldn't have teammates, you can't have 2 players from the same team, who would be the representatives of these divisions? And so I went about and, of course, took this as a logic game or a little logic puzzle. And I went and took Reference War. I use Reference War. I'm a staunch Reference War supporter for no particular reason other than it's easy to Google. And I was able to pull together the teams that would theoretically be represented in each division. And I'll just quick and dirty, I'll just share the results with you guys. The AL West is the lowest ranked of these divisions. And so just so we're clear, the rule again is that you cannot send two players from the same team. And then the other rule is you have to pick one of each, a first baseman, second baseman, shortstop, and third baseman. And I just did it strictly by Baseball Reference War. All right. So, all right. I'll just tell you the AL West total, the team. So AL West first base is Nolan Schanuel. Second base is Marcus Semien. Is it Seaman? Oh god.
Semen like the mattress, but I'm not totally sure.
Semen like the mattress? What kind of mattress?
Siemens mattress?
It's
like
Simmons. It's Simmons. Marcus Semien. We're gonna go
down.
Semien. Holy Semen on the mattress, Colin. All right. JP Crawford at shortstop and Isak Paredes at third base. Now the best in slot would be Mauricio Dubon at second base and Jeremy Pena at shortstop. Unfortunately, the Houston Astros can only send one representative, and Isak Paredes is so much better than every other third baseman in this division that he needs to report. So this is the total of 8 WAR. And the best team in this division, the best infield in this division is the Astros, and it's not particularly close. Real quick, NL East, Pete Alonso, Austin Riley, CJ Abrams, and Otto Lopez. Automatic. Let's go. Had a total of 8.3 WAR. The best is a tie between ATL and New York. Matt Olson is the best in slot, but again, third base, they needed Austin Riley to make this to optimize the reference war. Okay, the AL mid is next up, and so we've got AL mid. We've got Bobby Witt Jr. at shortstop. I believe Frenchie at the other Frenchie 2.0 at first base. He has a 0.8 reference war to
AL second base is a hole, absolute hole.
Well, here's one guy who's not bad is Gleyber Torres at second base for Detroit. And then, of course, in Cleveland, Jose Ramirez. It wasn't going to be anybody else. The RWAR total is 9.1. The best team is Cleveland. NL mid, here we go. NL mid has Ellie De La Cruz, speaking of the devil, at shortstop. Nolan Arenado at third base. Bryce Terrain at second base. Elite second baseman. And then we've got the Chicago Cubs. Is it Michael Bush? I don't know his first name. I think it's Michael Bush. Yeah.
That sounds right to me.
At
That's also a
2.3.
running back for the Raiders.
Okay. The best team on this in this division is obviously the Cubs. It's not particularly close. They are one of the top 3 teams with top 3 infield teams in this competition. The AL East comes in at second place. Congratulations, AL East. We've got JCJ, the MLB The Show cover man himself, at second base. 1.8 wins. God, that is grisly. All right. And then third base, we got Alex Bregman of the Boston Red Sox. First base, Jonathan Aranda. Who the hell else would it be? At first base from the Rays. And then, of course, at shortstop, a no-brainer, the Baltimore Orioles, Gunnar Henderson with 2.4. And the RWAR total is 9.9. The best infield is actually the Rays. Between Aranda, Lowe, Walls, and Caminero, they've got 7.5 wins, which makes them one of the better teams. Final one, the NL West, of course. And this is a weird configuration, so you're going to bear with me here.
NL Best, baby.
NL Best, baby. At shortstop, Mookie Betts, 2.7 wins. At first base is Rafael Devers at 2.4. And then third base, Manny Machado. And second base, no-brainer, Ketel Marte. And the total is 10.9 wins. Far and away. Like, it's not even effing close. Like, the distance between first and second here is the same as the different distance between second and, like, I don't know, second and, like, fifth. Okay? Like, they're lapping the field. And it's the NL West. The best infield, the 2 best infields in the league are both in this division. It's the Arizona Diamondbacks
Yeah.
with the infield of Naylor, Marte, Perdomo, and Suarez, and the Los Angeles Dodgers, who eked it out by a tenth of a win. Freeman, Edman, Betts, and Muncy. So, guys, any surprises? Like, is NL supremacy like NL West supremacy a surprise to you guys, or Dan?
No, I think this sort of tracks. It's sort of like a luck thing that if you have the NL West for whatever reason has good guys at every position, whereas other divisions just have stacked at one position. But yeah, I mean, a division with Ketel Marte at second, and yeah, that helps a lot in this sort of thing. And yeah, I mean, it tracks. There's a lot of good teams in the NL West as well.
And that tracks with what I'm observed, which is that there are the two worst divisions actually have completely stacked shortstop positions. So the AL West with Pena, Crawford, Seager, Zach Neto, the Angels, who actually has 2.5 wins, and then Jacob Wilson, who's like a bottom 2 shortstop in the division. Colin, bottom 2.
Fangraphs really likes him.
Bottom 2 shortstop in the division. Okay.
He does have a 146 OPS plus.
Bottom 2 shortstop. How bad does your defense have to be for that to rate bottom?
Fangraphs
2?
has him as number 2 in the division.
Oh God. Anyway,
I mean,
so and then the NL East, we've got Lindor, Turner, Nick Allen, who I mentioned before was probably the best defensive shortstop in baseball. CJ Abrams and Xavier Edwards. Pretty stacked race there. So those are they're the 2 worst divisions in this exercise, but they've got some pretty stacked shortstop divisions. So that's always interesting to see. And Dan, to your point, 100%. Ketel Marte being in the NL West is our little blessing because, good God.
Just a quick side note here. Chase Burns is having his major league debut right now, and through 2 innings, he has 6 strikeouts.
How do you get to at bat that many times?
Let's go, baby. Hell yeah.
That's wow. 1, 2, yeah, dang. Not bad. The only guy to get a hit off of him so far, JCJ.
Oh my God. Oh God. Anyway, good for him. What a debut for Chase Burns, by the way. It's like, hey, welcome to the majors. First team, Yankees.
Struck out the side in the first.
Yeah, no, I guess he got judged too.
Yep.
They were in a weird one yesterday because I was watching it before the Diamondbacks game started, and I think Judge went yard in the first AB. I think they had him leading off, and then I went to the Diamondbacks game, came back. Apparently that was it. They lost 6-1. Judge's solo shot. that was it. They just checked out after that point in the game. So,
yikes. Good God, dude. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. But the Yankees are going through a pretty rough stretch, as Murph kind of mentioned, and so I mean, get well soon, Yankees. Hopefully, or don't.
No,
I don't care. Your team sucks. All right. So that's my little NL divisional infields. But I thought this was a great prompt. People have been doing better. We've been getting a lot more engaging material on social media, like good prompts. Have you seen those NBA all-time team 5-on-5s? Who wins this 5-on-5? And then they pick a bunch of players who played for your team, and it's just some of these are really, really evenly matched and a lot of fun. So I mean, whoever's doing social media content for sports these days, it's good stuff. Good debate material. All right. Well, we'll be back in a sec. We're just going to take a quick break, and then we'll kind of talk about what we want to talk about. Matchups, gratitude rants, etc. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You guys ready to go on this segment?
Sure. I don't really have anything grateful, but I'm good outside of that.
You don't have anything to be grateful for, Colin? Are you serious? How about the fact that Josh Naylor is coming in today after hurting his freaking arm yesterday, or hurting his shoulder?
They scratched him.
Oh, they scratched him?
Yes.
Fuck, he was on the lineup card.
Not anymore. Yeah.
That's brutal.
Do you want to see why I'm not thankful? Look at what our lineup is today. Let me pull it up. We are starting. Yeah, it's Perdomo, Cattell, Pavin Smith at first, Gurriel, Jake McCarthy, Randall Grichuk, Ildemaro Vargas, Alec Thomas, Jose Herrera. Like, Gino's out, Carroll's out, Moreno's out, Naylor's out.
That's like all your non-Cattell bats and Perdomo. You know, like
Cattell just went yard though, so we are up on nothing.
It is also the White Sox, so you might as well just get better. You guys have get out of here.
We lost the series to the Pirates. I don't think there's teams that we can overlook.
You guys are 7.5 games back in the division. You know, Dan, they've been surprisingly like kind of feisty. They're staying in it despite losing all their good players, except Cattell and Perdomo.
Well, Cattell was even out for a month, so
yeah, that too. Yeah, he was hurt for a while, which is insane because he's tied for the most wins of second baseman in the NL.
Oh, I mean,
in baseball, I think
he'd be in the MVP talks if he like didn't get hurt. If he carried this like rate up, like he'd be up there with everyone else.
He might be in MVP talks anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have to keep it forward. I don't know. He always gets hurt though. I have no faith that he's gonna play. He'd have to play the rest of the season. I don't really necessarily think he's gonna do that. Yeah. And what's his name? Is gonna have to like not. Ohtani's gonna have to not be Ohtani, which you know. When Ohtani's starting to pitch, like that's gonna be a problem.
Oh god, yeah, that's right. Who could forget? Good old. He gets the DH penalty on his wins too. Like he gets the DH adjustment for his batting production, which in baseball reference at least, it definitely hurts him. Okay, we should go back. All right, and we're back. So all that needs to get cut out. Because who gives a shit about the D-backs, right? Like, am I right?
I mean, I agree.
Actually, Murph, let's do a health check-in. Murph, how are you feeling? Okay, so the D-backs have lost a ton of players, but they're out. Corbin Carroll, who has a chip fracture in his wrist, is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
Eugenio Suarez is out
Yep.
because he took a nasty little ball yesterday. And then we've got Corbin Burns out for the season. Tommy John. What the hell, dude? What are you guys okay?
Justin Martinez, Tommy John, AJ Puckis, Tommy John. Those are our two best relievers. Gabby Moreno's on the IL. Because his hand from my last rant of when they made us play in that monsoon, the ball kicked up and broke his hand.
Yeah.
Naylor's out because of a shoulder injury. A lot of our depth starting pitching, like Christian Mina, Tommy Henry, Blake Walston, Jordan Montgomery before the season started, all have Tommy John right now. So all in all, 8 pitchers on Tommy John. It's obviously great. Carroll, Moreno out. Gino and Naylor might be going on the IL. This is about as much of a season from hell as you could like expect. What are we like? I think we're 2 games above 500. It's honestly not the worst, but it's just tough to envision the team keeping this up. Like we gotta get healthy. The arms are dead. Like well, at least we had the bats. Carroll, Moreno, Gino, and Naylor. Like we need them in the lineup. It's pretty much it's Cattell and friends at this point, and it's getting dark.
Cattell and the G Leaguers. Like this is
it's
like Jimmy Butler and the G Leaguers. You know, like this is Cattell. Right. He can do it.
Cattell is red hot right now, though. He is just absolutely mashing the ball. He, I think he was 8 for 10 when he was in Colorado for the previous series. He's been killing the White Sox in this series. As I mentioned, went yard earlier today. So, I mean, these aren't the best teams, but Cattell is absolutely just punishing them right now. As I'm sure Grievous knows because he hasn't been fantasy.
He's fun to have.
Such a good pickup. Such a good pickup. That's so smart, dude. Who knew that second base was gonna be such a black hole this year? Like it is pretty dark in there.
Yeah, for fantasy, like who else is even like good? Brandon Donovan.
I think Glaber's like the next up, right?
Yeah.
Is Glaber second base too?
I have Glaber, so I can tell you that.
That's painful, dude. Glaber Torres is second base too.
Because like terrain's good, but like a lot of the value is the defense.
It's the defense is all it's all defensive value. And then in the start of the season, his bat was weirdly super hot, and so I think he's still riding high off that. It's like
Glaber second base too.
Yeah, this is insane. Like
what? Technically, Michael Garcia and Luis Ariz are also up there, even though they don't play second, and but
they're like second base eligible.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is a pretty brutal season for a second baseman. So there you go, Cattell. Run away with it. Let's do Parte. Let's do matchups we're looking forward to. Dan, kick us off. I'm sure you have something. What are you looking forward to, buddy?
This week we do have some nice pitching matchups to look forward to. The one that's really fun is tomorrow, which is Skeens against. This is the first time I'm going to try and pronounce this out loud. Jacob Misiorowski, the Brewers young guy who started his career off with 11 no-hit innings. Filthy stuff. 2 sub-2 ERA pitchers tomorrow in the NL Central matchup. Pirates Brewers should be fun. Later in the week, we got Logan Gilbert against Nathan Eovaldi coming back off the IL. 2 really good pitchers there. And then in the weekend, we have the Phillies and Braves matchup. A lot of good matchups there, but I decided to highlight Luzardo against Schwellenbach. Should be a good one.
Dan, real quick, is Luzardo back?
I think so.
Is he okay?
What I gather is that for that crazy 2-start stretch where he allowed 20 earned runs, he was tipping.
Okay,
that's what I hear. He was tipping, and they sort of picked up on that and fixed that. So I think he's back.
20 earned runs is
crazy. Quick.
Yeah.
Well, it was 20 earned runs in 2 starts. You sort of realize something is off.
There's definitely something a little amiss. All right, Murph, matchups you're looking forward to?
Yeah. I mean, I think Gold Cup. I know the U.S. didn't send out their best team. There's been a lot of chatter about Pulisic skipping it. I mean, whatever. The soccer season's long enough, but the U.S. is in. They're playing Costa Rica in the knockout stages to kick it off. Ticos have kind of been on a downward trend for the last couple of World Cup cycles. This should be a game that the U.S. wins, even without some of our top guys like Pulisic. But either way, it's kind of a measuring stick game for the U.S. We need to beat the Ticos. Then the FIFA Club World Cup, some of the knockout stage games are already out. I think probably the most interesting for everybody is going to be PSG playing Inter Miami, Messi against his old team. And I think that one kind of sells itself. As someone who's out here in the Rose Bowl, Grievous, I'll let you pronounce that Brazilian team's name.
Who, Botafogo or?
Yeah, Botafogo.
Yeah.
There was a big fight that broke out in the Rose Bowl between Botafogo and PSG fans. PSG fans a little salty that they lost to Botafogo. And yeah, it kind of escalated out there. It's kind of a little drama in Pasadena. But yeah, so we'll see. Basically, PSG is far from unbeatable despite winning the Champions League. So we'll see how Inter Miami handles them. Even though Inter Miami never should have been selected for this because the MLS has never crowned the champion as the Supporters Shield winner. It's always been the MLS Cup winner. What a joke. But since he's in it, I guess go USA.
I'm just surprised that PSG has fans passionate enough to get into a fight. Like they've been fans for what, 5 years?
Oh, shit.
My God. I've been happy to see how well the South American teams are doing. The Brazilian teams were unbeaten until yesterday, I think, when Atletico beat I forget. But yeah, they were on a roll. I did like to see the theory that since it's so hot right now, they have the advantage because they're more used to the tropical weather. Which, hey, I mean, it is in the Americas.
Oh man, fucking soccer guys, come on! All right, shit. What is my matchup I'm looking forward to? I'm not looking forward to any. I'm looking forward to the NBA draft because hopefully the Lakers are gonna somehow pull a center out of their ass. Kristaps Porzingis got moved for a bag of chips. We really could have used that guy, but I think our best player might have beef with him. And so that's why, but kind of painful to see the Lakers not pick up anything, but we're hoping that that changes come draft time. Lakers, of course, famously have tons of draft assets. starting tomorrow. They have a second round pick at 55, and then they have nothing else. So so what happens when you mortgage everything?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Thank God we won the bubble ring, because if we didn't get something out of this, like LeBron would not be able to leave his house. This is rough. But yeah, I guess the matchup I'm really looking forward to is the Lakers draft, and hopefully some NBA offseason intrigue going into the draft day. Other than that, it's pretty dark out here. The Dodgers are playing like the Rockies, which who gives a shit? Yeah, it's pretty rough. I think the Rockies series starts today. Is it Rockies or what? No, D-back are playing the White Sox. We played the Rockies today, I think.
Yeah, we played the Chi Sox.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty. So, yeah, nothing to look forward to there. I guess, yeah, I was supposed to watch the Chase Burns start today, but I didn't. So I gotta turn that off.
Going.
What? Yeah, he's cooking.
Yeah, I hope I traded him before his debut in one of my fantasy leagues.
I know.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that trade real quick? So Dan was able to trade Chase Burns for fucking Logan Webb, dude.
It was great.
Like, that's an F-bomb. Are you kidding me?
Dynasty. Yeah, only
it's keeper, but like, yo, in what world is Chase Burns like a top 3 over, like a number 1 through 3 first?
I mean,
is he a first round pick? Like, be honest.
I don't know. He's cooking today.
He's if he maintains this 2 1/3 strikeouts every inning pace, he's gonna be 0 ERA, best pitcher of all time. I really messed up. We'll see.
Oh my god, I think he's just scuffling. That's all it is. We gotta do gratitude and rants. Merv, since you don't have anything to be thankful for. Clint is asking, did you guys already cover how Halliburton is the most overrated player in the
Fun.
Why would we just kick a man while he's down? He can't walk, so let's just kick him while he's on the ground.
Is that Skip Bayless who sent that in?
No, it's Clint, one of our listeners from Hawaii.
Well, no, you saw the Skip
friends.
tweet, right? Said that the Pacers keep trotting out Halliburton injury excuses for why they lose. And then it came out that he had the torn Achilles, and obviously made him look like more of an ass than he normally does.
Which is impressive.
Which is saying something.
Yeah.
By the way, Skip is my neighbor. I found out like he lives here. Like, holy crap, he lives close to me. He keeps taking photos at the mall that's like down the street from my place. Like, I'm just like, Skip Bayless lives really close to me. And he's always like taking photos at the golf course that's also right across the street from my place. I'm like, Skip, are we neighbors? What the hell? So we're right next to the Fox studios, but obviously Skip's not working at Fox anymore. But he still comes out here. So it's kind of weird to see. I'm neighbors with Skip Bayless. Yeah, most overrated? I think he's still overrated, guys. I don't think the playoff run did him any favors. I don't think hitting a last-second shot is going to be like, oh, you're a good player now. It's like, damn, you clutch as hell. But like, if I was drafting a team for my life, like, do you make the starting 5? Like, probably not, right? Like,
well,
I mean,
he's not even considered a top 5 player. I don't see how it makes him overrated.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think he's considered that level of superstar, but he's considered a really good player, and he's a really good player. Like,
well, how would you describe him? Like, as far as like where he ranks in the NBA echelons, this like right now?
10 to 15.
10 to 15.
I was gonna say top 20. It was my
top 20s. I can stomach top 20.
Yeah.
He's a primary ball handler on a contending team.
Like I don't know. When someone says most overrated, first guy that comes to my mind, Jaylen Brown. He gets $55 million a year, plays second fiddle, shows up half the time, like, or whatever. I don't know.
I'm not touching that. That's racist. Got a problem with a man making money, Colin? Like,
no, I'm just talking about like part of being overrated. Obviously, is the expectations that you have set on you. And for a guy that like was crying about not making the Olympic team, and is on a max salary,
he was Finals MVP.
That's more of a deal.
I'm done.
Ooh, Ben Rice, home run off of Chase Burns.
That's
the decline is
decline is imminent.
But no,
trade him right away.
I mean, if you're talking about all that, like, he was Finals MVP more because Tatum no-showed, and that Celtics team was just really deep, and they kind of ran through the Mavs pretty easily. I don't think he necessarily had an amazing series. It's kind of like, it reminds me a lot like Iggy won MVP. make me think Iggy's like an amazing player. Like he's still the 4th best player.
That Finals
Warriors
MVP was a travesty. I'm still mad about that. LeBron should have won that thing. Are you kidding me? The NBA. Only reason you got 2 extra games was because of LeBron. That should have been a sweep. They had no Kyrie, no Kevin Love. Like they should have been dead in the water. Matthew Dellavedova was the 2nd best player on that team, bro. Like what are we talking about here? How's that guy not win Finals MVP?
You're a Lakers
He
fan.
held LeBron to 37 points a game. He's a heroic effort.
Just locked him down.
You guys, you're Laker fans. You know the 2nd best player on that Cavs team is Timothy Mozgov.
That's right. Yeah.
The Lakers
How could we
instantly
forget?
went out and like gave him Mozgov money, which is
How can we forget
ridiculous.
60-20-10 from Mozgov? No, that team was insane. I was just telling Clint yesterday. It's like that's his greatest accomplishment, I think, was winning those 2 games in that finals because he had nothing. That and the 2018 finals run, I thought was, even though he got cooked by KD, the KD Warriors, like that team was terrible.
For me, it's 07, just because that team also wasn't very good.
Oh
And
God, yeah.
when
How
he
could I forget?
closed-
Yeah.
Yeah, he closed with like 20-something points to like eliminate the Pistons. I mean, obviously he got wrecked in the finals. They got swept. But
His second best player was Booby Gibson, I thought. Like, was
no,
it Booby
no,
Gibson or
no, that's
Larry?
09. 07, they still had Big Z. And man, Larry Hughes, I think was on that team as well.
Oh, God,
Or no, it
right.
was Eric
No, don't
Snow
make me
still.
look this up. Don't make me look this up.
It was Snow still. Sorry. It was Snow. But no, Big Z was the 2nd best player. And Big Z is definitely the 2nd best player.
Larry Hughes was
Not
the
Booby
second option on the team.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Big Z would be
Yeah, second
comfortably
leading
second
scorer
player.
on that team was Larry Hughes with 14.9 points per game.
Yeah.
It
Good
was-
God, dude.
And then there was only 2 other guys above 10, Drew Gooden and Big Z. So
Drew Too Gooden. Come on. The team is stacked. But yeah, Ilgauskas. Ilgauskas is a good player. I mean, he made an All-Star game. Like he's
Thanks to LeBron. What the hell?
No, I'm pretty sure his All-Star game. Oh yeah, it probably was post LeBron, right?
It was definitely post LeBron, Colin.
he actually had 1 pre and 1 post.
Oh,
actually.
really? He had
Yeah.
I'm
two?
sure. Yeah, because him and Boozer both made it the same year.
Oh,
for the
that's right.
Cavs.
They used to have the kind of twin tower thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an All-Star 2002, 2003, the year before when they won 17 games to get themselves LeBron.
Oh,
They still had an
God.
All-Star.
So yeah, his All-Star game was not because of LeBron. He did, unless you want credit to Boozer, which Alaskan legend. I'm totally fine with that.
Oh, God. Clint says Skull Vikes. Yeah. Good luck with that. JJ McCarthy actually has a really high over under for his touchdowns this season, which is pretty funny. Yeah, it's two Green Bay Packers fans and an Eagles fan here. Gratitude and rants. We're finally here. Murph, you have to come up with something. I'm gonna give it to Dan first, but you got to come up with something. Dan.
The thing I'm most grateful for is the Lakers getting sold. Like the Lakers getting sold to Mark Walter, getting the hands out, like getting it out of the hands of the bus children. A friend of mine put it best. They're no longer going to be run like a small business. Like they're gonna. Yeah, like Mark Walter knows how to invest and knows how to actually maximize the resources that a team like the Lakers should have. We'll probably actually have a full analytics department now. It'll be, I'm excited to see how this evolves over time. But the second I saw that they were selling, I was like, hell yeah. Yeah. And then when I saw who to, even better. So I really happy about that. Beyond that, I'm also grateful for the little news blurb that came out that Yandy Diaz watches Tom and Jerry cartoons like religiously to relax. I just love funny, weird baseball player stories. Are we doing? Should I do rant as well?
Let's hear the rant.
My main rant is about the Thunder wearing blue jerseys at home for Game 7. Looked awful. But then the fashion karma gods got them back by rewarding them with the worst championship hats that I've ever seen. They look like they glued on the OKC patch like right before the game ended. I have a prop actually ready. Here's the 2010 Lakers championship hat. Look at that. That's very well designed, very, very sleek. I should have told Euno to have a picture ready of the very embarrassing OKC hats, but they look like trash. Like they look really bad. And the other rant I have is Yoshinobu Yamamoto should have had an immaculate inning this past week, which is a very rare occurrence. And he threw a strike right down the middle for his 9th pitch, and it should have counted, but the umpire decided to call it a ball. One of the most egregious ball strike calls that I've ever seen, especially in that sort of situation. Very annoying, but glad to see him doing well.
Dan, is this the one we're talking about, the hat?
Yeah,
Sorry.
that looks right. Yeah.
Let me share this. Is it this one?
Yeah. Look at that patch. It looks
like they put just a decal.
Yeah, it literally looks like they ironed it on.
Yeah.
They didn't know who it was going to be. So at the last minute, they just ironed it on because they don't want to send like another, million hats to Botswana or something. Like that looks awful.
Yeah. It looked even worse on TV. Like SGA was doing the post-game interviews, and I was like I can't watch this. This is
shout out Fanatics. This is Fanatics.
Just a little fact check.
They also have the shitty little rope across the hats, which is a trend now. I hate those too. I think they look awful. So yeah.
Murphy, you're saying, sorry.
Oh, as a minor little, fact check, despite the traditional stereotype that all the unused merchandise goes to Africa, it actually more frequently goes to Central America.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Sorry. I forgot about that. Yeah. There was a kid, I think, in like rural Colombia or something, wearing like a what's it called? USC national champions against Texas. Oh, that hurt my soul. Anyway.
I have seen pics of the 2009 Orlando Magic champs.
Who could forget that?
Yeah.
NBA champion Jameer Nelson. Murph, gratitude rants.
Gratitude. I mean, I guess the NBA trade. I am happy that we were able to get rid of.
I'm happy we got Kevin fucking Durant for Jalen Green,
Dylan Brooks, and we lost number 10 overall.
Who gives a flying fuck, bro? You have enough top 10 picks on your team, bro. You need a Kevin Durant. How is that literally like? I have nothing to be grateful for except, my team got Kevin Durant
for like nothing.
For nothing. A number 10 and a bag of chips.
You gave up Dylan Brooks. Oh no!
Oh,
you got Kevin Durant.
Dylan Brooks was our best 3-point shooter last year.
Okay, last year
replacing him with Durant does help a lot.
My favorite comment when you mentioned that was like Dan said, "You know who else is good shooting threes?" And I was like, "Yeah." Well, I know a guy.
Jalen Green was also like one of our best 3-point shooters. So we still have spacing issues.
That is tallest midget. Are you kidding me? Jalen Green is your best. That is horrible.
We were dead last in team shooting.
Yeah, shit. That's what's happening. What the hell?
But no, my concern with the deal still is whatever backhanded, whatever deals made under the table. I don't want to necessarily be tied up to a long-term deal with Durant. We saw this with Jimmy Butler trade with the Warriors, where then they maxed him out for a couple years. Like Durant is going to be 37 for the next season starts out. He has not been healthy really since the Achilles tear. It's just something I'm like a little worried about, especially with like a deep team like this is, are we going to end up in a situation being tied up to 40-year-old Durant at 60 million AAV when we're trying to like contend and extend with like Sengun and Amen. So, but yeah, objectively, I think I mentioned to you guys, I think we are 20, 30 games away from Jalen Green becoming a negative asset. I think at the moment, people could still talk themselves into he's a positive guy. He's still young, but his lack of development over the last several years is obviously very concerning. He is still, though, very young. I think people misconstrue how young he's been in the league and just forget that he is still 23. So there's still a lot of reason to think he could improve, but I don't necessarily fully buy it. And I'm happy to be out of that contract. That contract was very likely going to look negative very, very quickly.
I've been surprised Jalen Green, like people have been high on his potential for the last couple of years. Like it felt like he was just the player that he is and hasn't really evolved much at all. And yeah, 4 years isn't a long time, but like you got to show us something. Like He's been pretty underwhelming, at least in my view, from the get-go.
At least the Rockets sub, like the Jalen Green truthers, the person that everyone always points to is Devin Booker, who everyone thought was a chucker, good stats, bad team guy, and then obviously he kind of like blew up and kind of hit that next level. Which is also why I thought it was kind of funny that we were always rumoring to trade Jalen Green for Devin Booker. And now, I mean, it is kind of funny. Like, what are the Suns doing? Like, look at who their best players on the team are. It's Booker, Jalen Green, Bradley Beal, Grayson Allen, and Royce O'Neal. That's 4 shooting guards and a small forward. Dylan Brooks is probably the 6th. Like, they have no point guard. They have no bigs. And, presumably they're still trying to compete. So it's clown show over there. But I'm happy we got Durant. We're gonna be a better team next year for it as long as he stays healthy. And it frees up minutes for Reed Shepherd and Cam Whitmore because adding number 10 plus getting rid of Green and Brooks frees up around 60 minutes a game. Durant's gonna take 30 of them. That still leaves 30 minutes open for someone else to fill in the rotation. Reed Shepherd was picked number 3 overall. Like, he needs some time to prove if he's good or a complete bust. So that'd be probably my biggest gratitude. I like what we've been doing. I really wanted to get Booker, but if that package only could get us Durant, then whatever the package to pry Booker away was going to be just absolutely ridiculous and not worth entertaining.
I gotta add a little bit. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I don't understand what the Suns are doing. Like, they're not competing. Why are you so dead set on keeping Booker?
Well, what I heard was that Ishbia is getting even more involved, like hands-on as an owner, and that's never a good sign.
That's never a good sign.
Yeah,
never a good sign. And sorry, you're Jerry Jonesing the team. I have a little quick aside about Jalen Green. I got to see him in high school when he was running with his AAU team at the Adidas Gauntlet event, actually down here in Southern California, because he was around here a lot. He was a California local. Dude, his game has not changed at all. Like, I don't mean to be a dick, but like, when you're 16 and when you're 23, over the course of 7 years, you still haven't developed a jump shot. You're still relying on crazy hops and athleticism to dunk on dudes. Like, you're doing the exact same thing you did in high school, bro. And I'm watching his game and I'm like, he's not developing. Like, he's just been told that he's the greatest all the time, and then just doesn't, like, I guess he's better at getting to the basket, but he was always good at getting to the basket. Like, he's always been good at that. So like, it was very concerning that he wasn't developing in the ways that you wanted to. Booker, I understand, made that jump, like the evolution based on like his shooting. Like, he was a mid-range god, and like he can kind of move it back now, and he knows how to take advantage of when somebody comes up on him. Jalen, I don't know, dude. Like, no one's he's not fooling anybody with that 3-pointer, dude. He's not fooling anybody. Play drop, who cares? Like, that's you just didn't get better, man. Like, that's my thing. And so like, Murph, I think you guys are totally right to punt on him, and turning him into Kevin Durant was one of the best things you could possibly do with this guy, especially for this team given its window.
This is best case scenario.
Best case scenario.
Like, you got not just something, but a really valuable something out of him.
Yeah. I will say also, wrapping up on this, is the track record for the G League Ignite guys. Everyone was saying it was going to be selfish AAU ballers. And I mean, you look at the way like Jalen Green, Kuminga, and all these guys, like, don't even look for their teammates at any point whatsoever. They're not beating the allegations that when basically every person was concerned about people doing that instead of going to a college team where you're like working to try and win. The players came out the exact way everyone said they would. And it's kind of a shame. I feel like a lot of players were kind of forced down to a bad situation there, and they learned a lot of bad habits, and they've translated to the league, because they have the same criticisms everyone expects them to have. And it feels like you can't even blame the prospect at this point. You have to blame the process.
What's the alternate one that the Thompson twins went to? Because
the overtime elite.
Because that they came out fine. Like, they're a lot more useful team players than that.
I mean, those guys came out like dogs, though.
Yeah, they just came out
those
killers.
Like the opposite. They come out. Yeah.
I feel like those are the two guys at the end of the Hunger Games, just like standing there, like, all right, now it's time to go to the league. Like, oh man.
But no, you're right. I don't understand what's different between the two. I guess Overtime Elite is still like a real league, and while like the G League Ignite has always been treated more like a development and like farm system stuff, so maybe just the mentality of even the players are playing against to an extent is different. I remember, was it Caruso had that like famous quote about how he felt like a lot of people in the G League were, audition like not realizing what the assignment was. They're auditioning for like CEO when they're looking for a janitor.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's why I set screens past the ball and everything's like, no one's wanting you. They're not looking for someone to score 20 points a game. They have that. The league already has that. Like they're looking for you to do the other stuff. So maybe that's like kind of part of it. I don't really know.
They mentioned on the Game 7 broadcast that Hartenstein like dropped 8 threes in the G League final however many years ago, which I like. That's really funny to like go from that to he's literally in the team to just like, muscle up and bang bodies down low. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, he's out there hitting threes in the final. Very different. Yeah. There's
Never
always
forget.
guys like 30 plus points and they get to the league and they score like 2 points a game.
Never forget. The worst NBA player is still gonna mop the floor with you.
Of course,
the average guy, and so hitting 8 threes is terribly surprising. That is pretty funny though. It's a funny image at least because I've always envisioned Isaiah Hartenstein as like a pale Frankenstein. So I'm just like, rant Murph. No rant. We spent so much time on your gratitude.
I have a rant. Believe me, I have lots of rants. But I will not go into about the general health of the Diamondbacks, which is driving me insane. But instead, actually go the other way, where I think this is going to sound counterintuitive, but Lovello and Hazen, I think, baby the team too much. The idea that guys are not allowed to play 3 straight games in Colorado because the elevation changed. He will not start 3 guys for 3 straight games there. He sat Ketel Marte, who was raking in the first 2 games. Didn't play him in the third one. We put up 2 runs and we lost, especially with all the other injuries in the lineup. This is a stretch of game we need to bank some wins in. We're playing the White Sox, the Rockies, the Marlins. Like, we need wins here. Corbin Carroll's not in the lineup. Ketel needs to be in the lineup every single day. He's just too big of a bat for us. Putting him on the bench there, it just makes no sense. Guys have played 3 games in Coors and not spontaneously combusted. It happens. Like, everyone does it. The Padres were up there like a month and a half ago, and their top 7, their batting order didn't change at all the entire series. They were fine coming out of it. Diamondbacks used to go up there and do it all the time. Goldschmidt never sat. I don't understand. I don't think there's any science that backs that a day off. He came in to pinch hit, by the way, in the 9th. Ketel did. But apparently 3 extra plate appearances as a DH, and like that's just a bridge too far. Like, I refuse to believe there's any science that like says that this helps anything out. This is absolutely like a ridiculous thing, and they follow this letter to the law. They took Naylor out. Everyone sat. It's just, I do not understand fundamentally why they think players are need to be babied like this. It's baseball. Like, they can play 5 straight games, including a 3 in a row in a middle stretch in Colorado. They are absolutely capable of doing that.
Or if they pull Naylor, he's on a contract year, right?
They don't let players start 3 straight games in Colorado.
I think I'm onto something here, especially against the Rockies. You're gonna let them stat pad and like use that in negotiations. You can Kendrick. He's a savvy guy like that.
Ketel is locked up through his age 37 year. No, like there's no reason to sit.
But that's part of the subterfuge. It's like you got to bench all the other guys too. But like Naylor needs to sit because we need to bring him back next year.
Right.
Use your head, Collin.
I honestly go to call. I don't know who we're gonna keep, but one of them's walking. But Suarez or Naylor, one of them's sticking around, the other's walking.
What are their package deal? Like, nope. Corners, we stick together. We're a team.
I have a feeling it's gonna be Suarez and Naylor.
Suarez is older, yeah.
Yeah, Naylor's gonna get like a Walker-like deal that we're not gonna match. We'll just slide Suarez over. Suarez's defense at third is becoming a little
horrendous. It's not good.
He has 9 errors already.
It's not good.
And let me assure you, his range is not good.
Yeah, he's not there for his glove. I'll tell you that. Like,
but he used to be a plus glove.
He did.
He is minus now.
Look at the size of the fella, right? Like, what do you expect at that point? Like,
yeah.
packing on the pounds, and the way he stands at the plate looks so lackadaisical and tired.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I love this guy. He has to be on my fantasy team.
So yeah, I mean, the idea is Lawler goes to third, Suarez moves over, but yeah, one of them's gone. So no, back to the original point. This idea of like resting guys constantly like this is not helped us. We are constantly hurt. We don't even finish season strong. Even 2023, the year we made the World Series, we got swept by the Astros in it when we could have clinched to make the playoffs. We backed our way in because the Cubs kept losing. We did not finish strong that year. We faded in 2018. We faded last year. There's no proof that like us resting guys in June and July makes us any fresher in September and October for the playoff push. All it is we're taking hot bats out of the lineup when they could be getting us wins. And we need all the wins we can get right now. I do not understand it. It's my biggest frustration with Lovello and Hazen. I say them both because I honestly am not really fully convinced that this is a Lovello decision.
All right. Altitude seriousness, altitude fear from Mike Hazen and
yeah, that's silly. Like
we all know where it's
agree.
really coming from. It's coming from Ken Kendrick. All right,
I do
don't
like
put this
the
on
tinfoil
Lovello
hat theory.
Yeah, no, I'm
No, I blame Kendrick for lots of things. I'm not.
Use your
blaming him
head,
for
Colin.
this.
Use your head. How many expiring deals at the end of the year? You want them stat padding in Colorado? Is that what you want? Like
Cattell is signed for the next decade.
I said, that's part of the subterfuge. You can't make it look like you can't make it look like
obvious.
you're trying to take those opportunities away. You gotta pretend to be concerned for their health or something. And Murph, you're halfway there. You just need to take it all the way. It's like we got 2 expiring deals of guys that are swinging a nuclear bat this year. Like maybe don't stat pad at Coors. Like as a matter of fact, they should have sat them the whole series. Like guys, you know what? Really high up there. You might get sick. Just sit it out. You know. Go enjoy Denver. There's nothing to do in Denver. I know, but just enjoy it.
What's the difference between sitting in the dugout and like playing a game? Like, why don't you just ship them out?
Altitude.
Like, yeah, fly into Chicago. If, like, literally being at altitude is the problem. I just don't understand it.
Murph,
be sitting for 2 hours.
Don't you understand the way those guys are playing? They're gonna have to run at least 180 feet. Okay, like if not 360 every time they get up there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, like.
With the number of singles Gino's hit this year, he's not running anywhere. The ball's either going over the fence or he's walking to first or going.
Okay, he's trotting. He's trotting. Okay, but he still has to trot, and it's high altitude. All right, that trot counts as a run up there. Okay.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah, definitely, dude. I do not like high altitude at all. I'll do my gratitude when I get out of here. My gratitude is quick. I just want to say thank you to my wife who got me the greatest Father's Day gift of all time. If you have not seen it, here it is. It is a bobblehead of me and my son wearing a Dodger jersey. It's a custom-made bobblehead. It looks absolutely not. This looks like me if I became a skeleton. I haven't been this skinny in 5 years. This is, awfully flattering, but I really appreciate the gift. That's a hell of a gift. I wish I knew which company she ordered from so that I could kind of plug them, but whatever. 10 people can figure it out. They know how to Google. I had a rant and I can't believe. Oh my God. Yeah. My rant is it is NBA Finals related, but I'll switch it. John Jones, MMA GOAT. Retired this week, and I just want to say, like, guys, I just want you to. I had a whole rant prepared about this. I just realized, fellas. So we just saw the OKC Thunder versus the Indiana Pacers, and the Indiana Pacers, their best player, got injured in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. What if I told you that next year, players are just going to voluntarily sit out and not play unless they get paid more, but some will play. And maybe we'll get a suboptimal NBA Finals matchup or a suboptimal World Series matchup, but they just sit the whole year out because it doesn't pay enough money. Well, that's what's happening at the UFC. Basically, the best, the perceived greatest of all time UFC fighter, noted felon and, vehicular shenanigans perpetrator John Jones. The man hit a pregnant woman who drove off. And then he got into a car accident and ran away from the scene earlier this week, or apparently earlier this year. Anyway, noted felon and multiple time drug test failure and UFC heavyweight champion John Jones is retiring. He was supposed to fight the interim UFC champion Tom Aspinall, this cheeky fellow from the UK who is an incredible fighter, super fast, beat the brakes off of Sergey Pavlovich in one of the most impressive dismantlings of a giant man I've ever seen. He was hyped. Everybody wanted to see Tom Aspinall versus John Jones. And then John Jones basically ran away and retired. And pretty much sums up the state of the UFC. Pretty much sums up the state of combat sports in general. If you can't give the people what they want, if the people want something, don't give it to them. Make them wait, and then maybe you'll sign a contract, maybe you won't. But the athletes want too much money, so you're not going to do it. And that's pretty much the UFC. The athletes want too much money, so you're not going to do it. And it makes me really sad that that's how this company is run. We don't get to see the best fight the best. We only get to see what the UFC can afford, which sometimes is not a lot. And so the UFC is kind of falling off, and it's making me kind of sad. But I feel like the UFC is dying because of this type of like kind of private equity booking, where they're really just trying to save money and, just put events out there and put on events for the sake of putting on events and talk about how they're breaking gate records. But nobody really gives a shit. Nobody's tuning in. The days of Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Conor McGregor are like way behind us. It just doesn't happen anymore, and there's no hype, and the fan base is increasingly sad. So just want to put that out there that the UFC is dying. I blame Hunter Campbell. I blame Dana White. I blame TKO. Stop being cheap. Shell out, dude. Like, you saw what happened to boxing when Turkey LSU got in there and started paying money to sports wash. Like, yeah, they unasked a few bucks. We're the richest country on the planet. You're telling me you can't put money together to put on a fight? That's so dumb. Anyway, that's my rant. UFC do better. TKO do better. Don't tell me that you guys can get outbid by the Saudis. That's so dumb. Okay. That concludes my rant. Any last parting thoughts, guys?
Yeah, I just really want a lot of chaos for the draft tomorrow. I all the trades, move all the players, I do love all the chaotic player movement.
Oh, what's your one draft day wish? Let's do that. What's your one draft day wish, Dan?
Oh, well, I said it before we started. I wish the Lakers get a center.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Murph, what's your draft day
Any
wish?
center.
Honestly, I'm kind of really just out at this point. Yeah, I mean, we don't really have anything anymore. Like, I don't really have anything to really root for. We had number 10. I was like kind of into that for a little bit, but like, I mean, we still have picks, but like,
who gives a shit about those?
I think our first pick is 59. Like,
okay, so you're after the Lakers, which is pretty.
Yeah,
tight.
I mean,
okay.
I kind of, there's a chance we make other moves, but I really don't think so. I think this is it. This is the team that we're going to be running into the next year with. I think you look around, I think they believe Fred VanVleet, Amen Thompson, Kevin Durant, Alperen Sengun, and Jabari Smith with the Steven Adams as a too big rotation guy, Tari Eason, and then potentially Cam Whitmore, Reed Shepard. That's the 8-man rotation. Then I don't really think there's anything that's going to change that.
That's a good ass team. What are you talking about? Yeah,
no,
I'd be happy to
like,
go to the next season with that.
That's why I don't think there's really going to be anything. I mean, we probably want to get a better backup point guard to just get through the regular season. We always need more shooting. But yeah, I mean, this is the team. Like, I don't know what else to say. I don't really expect any more moves. The Durant move was us blowing like the only assets we really had to give, which was this upcoming draft pick and Jabari and Jalen Green. I don't see any other dimes that we're turning into quarters or quarters we can turn into dollar bills, like realistically on this roster. And I think those are the only moves we'd be looking to make. I don't think we're trying to break bills here. We're trying to color up, so to speak. So I don't know. Kind of think we're just static.
Nice. All right. Well, my one wish for the NBA draft is that the Dallas Mavericks trade the first pick. And with that, thank you for joining us for another edition of Everyone Hates Us. I'm Euno Lee, joined by my great co-hosts Dan Grievitz and Colin Murphy. We will see you next week, same time. Tune in. Hopefully everything works out. And good luck to your teams in the draft. Godspeed.